When I was growing up, I was in a lot of different foster placements. It's really difficult for you to figure out who you are as a person when you're moving to different families over time and you have to change yourself to be part of that family. I got to an age where I couldn't go to foster parents anymore. I was put in residential, which is where you live with other kids. A lot of these kids are in a lot of trouble. None of them went to school. One of them had been to court 3 times in the 4 months I was there. Just before I came to UWC, one of my foster sisters committed suicide. The longer I had stayed there, the more I seen myself getting into a similar circumstance to what they were in, which isn't something I wanted, but I know I would have found it difficult to avoid. Everything that could have happened now has been made impossible. I'm in a different country, which means that I can't be part of the care system, which kind of gets me away from all these negative expectations that were there for me.
In working with Jessica, both as her advisor and her community engagement mentor, it soon becomes apparent how her background and her life experiences have shaped the way she thinks about 2 issues in particular. One is the issue of the challenges of coming from a disadvantaged background. She also understands the role of access to opportunity in overcoming this disadvantage and transforming this disadvantage.
As I was growing up and I was in different foster placements over time, I also had a hearing loss. And if you just looked at my level of hearing loss, you wouldn't expect me to communicate through speech at all. I guess that's one of the benefits that have came to me from being in foster care. The people I lived with didn't know how to use sign language, so I was kind of forced to communicate through speech. I wouldn't have been to attend a UWC if my main form of communication was sign language if I wasn't in mainstream school. With my hearing aids, I can hear enough to figure out what people are saying, but only if I use lip reading in addition to that.
She's part of KRIA, a program that uses outdoor education to empower young women to find self-confidence and courage and overcome personal and social challenges. And it's here that I think her background becomes less of a setback or disadvantage, but it's that which gives her the compassion for the less privileged, gives her patience for their struggles, and it also helps her show this awareness of the very delicate balance that has to be struck between helping somebody and empowering them. She has a special sense that's honed for identifying social injustice or power struggles that makes her drawn to places where there's a more even playing field. And I think that's why she's drawn to the outdoors.
Starting this year, we've introduced a new project within KRIA where the project week that everybody in Yuki does, one of them involves going on a trip to the Golden Jungle, where we will jump off waterfalls, we will abseil down waterfalls, we will go to the beach, and we also did some kayaking. We took the girls who had progressed really fastly in swimming on this trip with us, whereas normally it would just be Yuki students. When the girls come to campus, they come into our college and we're teaching them our skills, but when we went to the jungle, none of us had done that before, so we all ended up being on equal levels, and it was just a really nice way to bond with the girls.
We have students coming from a variety of backgrounds, thinking that the world is saved by good intentions, and just suddenly being aware of all these problems that exist in rural India. And I think for Jessica to see that, but to also see parallels with systems that don't work and people who fall through the cracks of the system back home is something that informs a much richer perspective to service and what it means to do service in a context, and the need to do service in contexts where we don't typically think that we need to do service, like back home. That's a depth of reflection about development and developed countries versus developing countries that she has and that she brings and contributes to other students.
There's still issues in developed countries. There's still people who are living below poverty lines. There's still people who are scraping to get by. There's still people who are in the care system. There's still people with learning difficulties. And I think it's really important that those people also get an opportunity to come to places like UWCs, which is why I'm really grateful for everyone who donates the scholarships for people to come here.